What's up, YouTube? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for the College Football Playoff Top 25 projections for the No Eye Test College Football Committee formula. If this is your first time visiting this channel and you want to hear a different take of college football from an analytical perspective, if you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select all so you don't miss out on another video. Also, like the video and share the video. And at the end of the video, if you watched it all, please give me what you think your projections are of the top 6 or your top 10, so that way we can kind of chop it up and get some comments going. So without further ado, we like to start off with how the committee does this selection process if this is your first time visiting the channel, so you can get a better understanding on what the committee uses based on their No Eye Test College Football Committee playoff projection. So this is your first time visiting. The committee has a selection process based on how they rank these teams. They go off of wins, obviously, losses. Quality wins are one of the things that they look for. Now, quality wins are wins with an opponent that has a winning record above 500. 500, a team that's 6-6, that's not considered a quality win. 7-5 is considered a quality win. Bad losses are the opposite of a quality win. It is a loss to a team with a losing record. So lose to a team that is 6-6, that is not a bad loss. 5-6 or 5-7, that's considered a bad loss. Top 25 wins, obviously, a team that is currently ranked in the college football playoff top 25 counts as top 25 win. Game control is just another way of saying margin of victory. Strength of schedule is a very murky subject because a lot of people like to use strength of schedule from other websites like Team Rankings and other websites that project their own version of strength of schedule. The committee does not use that. The strength of schedule that they use is the BCS formula. That is basically what they go off of, not any other strength of schedule ranking that you will see from ESPN or Team Rankings or wherever you like to go that makes you feel good about your schedule, that makes it higher than what it is. They only go off of the BCS formula, which is the ranking of the record of your opponent and the record of your opponent. That is how they calculate strength of schedule. And since we are in championship week, conference champ is going to be a big weighted for your ranking towards the end of the season. So now that we got all of that, let's go ahead and start off with 25 through 21. And let's see if we can get 100% accuracy for what the committee is going to do next week. Not next week, but tomorrow. So let's get cracking. So the model is projecting K-State still staying in the top 25 after their loss to Iowa State at 8-4. Very interesting that the model is still keeping K-State in, even though that they're 8-4. Game control is pretty solid at 14. So not a terrible game control if you are 8-4, especially with that strength of schedule at 12. Very solid. Unfortunately, with that loss to Iowa State, this could be something to keep an eye on, because I think if the committee does keep K-State in the top 25, this is actually going to help Texas keep with their top 25 win. If K-State is out of the top 25, then the top 10 is going to be very interesting, in my opinion, because if K-State is out, then Texas will lose a top 25 win, and they're going to need all the help that they can get to kind of ward off Alabama. We got Liberty at 12-0. The model has been trying to put Liberty in the top 25, but they got them last week, and I'm sure they're going to stay in this week, 12-0. They got their conference championship game this weekend. Very solid game control at 18, but they got 4 quality wins. Strength of schedule is one of the worst in the country, but at the same time, when you're 12-0 in the G5 and your strength of schedule is that bad, you pretty much can't lose a game, especially if you have a weak schedule. But with that, coupled with their game control, I think they're solid, going to be in the top 25. Clemson, 8-4. Very, very tough to put Clemson out of the top 25, honestly. Strength of schedule, 17th. Game control is not really that good, but at the same time, if you're 8-4 and you have solid strength of schedule in the top 20s, you're pretty much going to be a shoe-in to stay in. Tulane at 22nd, they round out, and also NC State at 21. 9-3, pretty solid resume. 3 quality wins, 1 top 25 win for NC State. Game control, not really the best, so that's pretty much going to keep NC State right where they are, unless a couple of teams lose that's in front of them. So 15 through 20, everybody's also going to point to Tennessee still staying in the top 25. To be quite honest with you, yeah, they're 8-4, but to keep it real, 3 quality wins, that's difficult to kind of judge them against. The problem with Tennessee is that they have their bad loss to Florida, and their game control is at 8.8. And unfortunately for them, they can't really go any higher unless some teams actually lose as in front of them. Oregon State, they're going to stay in the top 25 as well, because when you have a lot of teams that are 8-4, they're not going to add in a G5 school that is 10-2 or 11-1, because those schools, they may have a weaker strength of schedule, and they also are coupled with a loss as well. So if you have a strength of schedule that is 100 or worse, and you also have a loss on your resume, the committee's not going to put them in the top 25, unfortunately. So they'd rather put a team that is 8-4 in the G5 as opposed to a 8-4 team in a Power 5 as opposed to a 10-2 team that is in the G5. That's just how they have operated. Oregon State will stay at 19. Their game control is actually higher than Tennessee, even though they have the same number of quality wins. They have a higher strength of schedule and higher game control, so they're going to be put right there. Oklahoma State at 18, 9-3, 4 quality wins, 2 top 25 wins. Game control is abysmal at 1, but because of the fact that they have those 4 quality wins and 4 quality wins and 2 top 25 wins, they're going to be locked in at 18. Notre Dame 9-3. Game control is, completely crazy for them. They're going to stay up at 17. Iowa 10-2. Big West forever. They got a big game coming up against Michigan this weekend. They're going to be at 16. Louisville drops down to 15th after their soul-crushing loss to Kentucky this past weekend in their rivalry game. So 11 through 14, we got 2 9-3 teams and 2 10-2 teams. So it's pretty much going to stay the same from where they were at the previous week. Ole Miss going to stay ahead of Oklahoma at 10-2 at 11 and 12 respectively. LSU bumps up a little bit to their 9-3. They're going to bump up a little bit to 13th. And Arizona, they're going to go up to 14th as well. Not going to be a whole lot of wholesale changes up there just because of the Oregon State tumble. Everything is pretty much going to be status quo based on what the model thinks on this one. All right, 9 and 10, we got Missouri and Penn State, both teams 10-2, both teams with 4 quality wins. The difference between Penn State and Missouri is the fact that Missouri has 2 top 25 wins compared to Penn State, who has 1. Penn State has phenomenal game control. I know they catch a lot of flack on a lot of people's power ratings as to why Penn State is rated so high. They have phenomenal game control. Can't really hate on them for that. So they beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. They lose to the teams that, are apparently slightly better than they are. So can't really hate on them for that. But in this case, they're going to be stated at 10th. Missouri's going to stay at 9. It's going to be difficult for either one of those teams to actually, be ranked ahead of some of these other teams that are ranked in the top 8. And speaking of the top 8, we're going to have a little bit of a blind resume between 5 and 8 because we have 4 teams that have the same record at 11-1. All right, so we got a blind resume. We got 4 teams that are 11-1. Same record. But not all records are created equal because we have one team with 1 top 25 win, 3 quality wins, 86 strength of schedule, game control 25.2. Got another team, 2 top 25 wins, 5 quality wins, strength of schedule 30, game control at 17.8. And we also have another squad, 2 top 25 wins, 5 quality wins, game control very solid at 21.2, strength of schedule at 32. And we also have number 4, 3 top 25 wins, 5 quality wins, 16th in strength of schedule, and 14.3 in game control. So now that we have outlined these blind resumes, let's take a look and see who those teams are. And here we go. Number 8, Alabama. 5 quality wins, 3 top 25 wins, 16th in strength of schedule. Game control is at 14.3, which is the killer for them. Texas is at 7, so they're not going to budge on them. Be quite honest with you. Texas had a strong showing against Texas Tech, hanging a 50 burger on them, so that really helped their game control. Alabama had a higher game control metric than Texas did last week, but with Texas blowing out Texas Tech, that gives them a little bit more of a cushion, especially in the eyes of the committee when they're talking about head-to-head. I know they talk about head-to-head, and a lot of people think that head-to-head is like the end-all be-all, but unfortunately the committee looks at that as a tiebreaker if two teams are similar and they actually had to play each other. So that's really one of the reasons why Texas and Oklahoma were rated differently from each other. Even though OU did beat Texas, the committee saw that Oklahoma and Texas were not necessarily equal based on their resume. So it has absolutely nothing to do with the eye test. The eye test is full of crap, like I have said for weeks now. They don't believe in that because it doesn't exist. It's not real. Number 6, Ohio State. They drop from 2 to 6, still firmly in it. They don't really have to do anything else after that. Lost to Michigan, so their regular season is done. And we have Oregon at 5th. Oregon, 1 win against teams that are currently in the top 25. They will get another crack at Washington in the Pac-12 championship for the final time. We will have the Pac-12 crown a champion in the Conference of Champions, as Bill Walton were to say. All right, so the model has it projected at Florida State at 4. They move up after Ohio State loses their game to Michigan, so they're going to get slated up. Washington is also going to move up to 3. Michigan moves up to 2, and Georgia stays at 1. So with Washington and Oregon, it looks like it's set up as a de facto West Regional Final playoff game. The Elite 8 game. Winner goes to the playoff, loser goes to the Rose Bowl. Florida State at 4, they don't really have a lot of wiggle room here. They win, they are in. So pretty much that's going to be the direction between 1 through 4. Winning, you're in. It doesn't get any harder than that, to be quite honest with you. As far as chaos or anything like that is going to ensue, if there is going to be room for chaos, we'll expect it to happen in the conference championship games. So we'll see how the conference championship is going to go, but this is how the model is projecting the top 25, including the top 4. So that is going to be a wrap for this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Give me your version of the top 6. What you think the top 6 should be, and also if you want to go out to the top 10, feel free to do that as well. That way we can kind of chop it up in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and thank you for visiting the channel, and have a great week.